All right, so look, I'm not excited about the date today on the calendar. This is
Why, are you scared?
Well, look, do I believe that witches are real? Yeah. Grew up with one. Saw one in the flesh. Friday the 13th. Lock your doors. Again, just I don't know. This is something about this day. I don't like it.
Really?
I don't like it. Like I woke up. Well, you know, it's like yesterday it hailed for a while at my house, and then today I wake up on the 13th and it's like kind of gloomy in the morning. Like there's some sort of electricity in the air. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. I walked outside as we get up really early and it was dark. I looked both ways before I walked out of the garage. I wasn't gonna get Jason X wasn't gonna catch me slipping. Well, if he's gonna have to earn this one.
How about
you know what I'm saying? I'm not walking right into this.
Any superstition over there, or are you dead inside?
No, I've been dead inside. I'm just looking for Lindsay Lohan. Where's she at? You know what I'm saying? Is she around? Like, doesn't she show up on this day? Like, I don't. There's gonna be lightning. We start switching places. Like, I don't know. I mean, basically, the year 2022 was the year of Lindsay Lohan and switching bodies.
Well, the weird thing is, I like Halloween. Like, I got no problem with the holiday of Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
But man, Friday the 13th, I don't know. And 13 is my lucky number.
Well, that's a good question then. Which movie franchise did you like more, Friday the 13th or Halloween?
And I'm just not a scary movies guy.
You know,
like I've seen like clips of them, but I'm not going. Why would I want to go to a movie theater to be scared?
Mm-hmm.
You seen the stock market? That scares the hell out of me enough.
I have seen it.
I mean,
I've watched The Fourth Kind. After that, I don't.
Yeah, no, that movie messed
The
me
Fourth
up.
Kind. What was that?
No, Cone.
Yeah,
David.
It's about white owls and aliens.
Really?
Well, it's like based on kind of like a true story.
In Alaska, right?
Yeah.
Not good.
No, I panicked. I Jodie Foster that one.
Might watch it this weekend.
Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah. Don't make sure Ace is.
So we're not gonna
around.
see David next week.
I hope I see y'all next week.
Yeah, can't wait till I come in here and you're crawling up the wall looking at me and just
The furniture's moving around.
eating insects and stuff.
I don't know.
Dabo Swinney taps Garrett Riley to be Clemson's new offensive coordinator. The NFL playoffs begin this weekend. Our buddy Tom Luginbill from ESPN is going to join us, and we're taking live call-ins on a Flamin' Dragon Friday starting at 8 a.m. Eastern. I'm Jake Crane, and welcome to Crane & Company. Yesterday, Clemson fired Brandon Streeter as their offensive coordinator and made a Godzilla-sized splash by hiring his replacement, Garrett Riley, formerly of TCU, who was just in the national championship game. Now, while Clemson hasn't won less than 10 games since 2010 and made the playoff as recently as 2020, the last couple of years have felt somewhat stale, especially offensively. Now, missing on DJU was a big factor in that, but there seems to be a little bit more. Now, while Clemson still has a dominant defense, the skill positions around the quarterback haven't had the flash that they normally do. The typical home run hitters like Travis Etienne, T. Higgins, Justin Ross, and Ray McCloud don't really seem to be there right now. To be honest, the offense was getting stale and the vibe was getting worse. Now, by hiring an innovative mind that speedsters and go-getters on offense would love to play for, well, that's the perfect remedy. Now, we all know the Riley name is synonymous with scoring points like the Crane name is at sorority houses. And they attack every layer of the field. There's a talented young quarterback, Cade Klubnik, to mold, and we know this system will give him every opportunity to use not only his arm, but his legs as well. Now, Riley's ability to spread defenses out while still maintaining somewhat of a physical run threat causes defensive coordinators to show their hand earlier and more often. Now, believe it or not, many teams actually stay in base most of the time, so at least they feel protected over the top and underneath somewhat, which makes them sitting ducks. You got them right where you want them. Now, Clemson had seemingly lost their swag on offense, but snagging away Lincoln Riley leads me to believe this Clemson offense is back, and that is without a doubt the last puzzle piece they need to get back into the championship game. I'm going to bring in my co-host, David Cone, former Michigan quarterback. Guys read a lot of books, really good on a big green egg.
Books, yeah.
You know, just a good overall person, man. I'm proud of you. You done
Hey,
good.
put one right there.
Hey.
Put one right there. You guys scoring big at the fraternity houses. I love it.
The sorority house.
Huh?
Sorority house.
I thought,
Yeah,
maybe it was a
sorority.
Freudian slip.
Well, no, I don't know. I feel like that was kind of intentional, which makes me take back all the good things I said about you. And my brother, who I will not use his government name because on Flaming Dragon Fridays, I have to refer to him as Flaming Dragon.
3.5.
I am going to do this. Together we can, all right?
3.5.
I am not going to call you by your govy.
Is there extra bad punishment since it's Friday the 13th?
No, please don't do that to
If he says
me.
your name more than three
no.
and a
Yeah.
half times?
I'm going to physically strangle him after the show.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, we can get that paintball gun, and we'll go ahead and fourth kind blame.
That's the only way we're going to get it is if you and I get
That's
it.
exactly right. Apparently, the paintball gun.
You better have a lot of paintballs.
Like finding the snuffleupagus.
A lot of paintballs.
Yeah, I got this.
It's basically, I've got to go to a black arms dealer to get a paintball gun. That or Davies.
Look, that's
Hey,
great. They
That or
just-
Davies. I don't know the difference, to be honest.
Wait, it's funny you say that. Victor Bout's out of
I was
prison
about to
now. I know
say,
exactly.
we trade Victor Bout back and we can't even find paintball guns.
That's exactly right. All right, Flamin' Dragon. Big weekend this weekend, guys. But before we get into the NFL and all that stuff, this was a humongous hire by Clemson.
Wow.
Because, again, I will never worry about the Clemson defense with the way that they recruit, and we still see the youth there. I mean, you look what they're doing, putting guys in the league defensively. The offense has taken a step back. And a lot of people just blame missing on DJU because if you look, Clemson really hasn't missed on quarterbacks during this run. And the run has been incredible if you look at Clemson's record since 2010. It would absolutely blow your mind. So you don't miss on Trevor Lawrence, obviously. You don't miss on Deshaun Watson. You can keep going down the list. DJU, you missed a little bit, but Garrett Riley brings such another dimension to this offense, not only from a attractiveness standpoint for very talented high school skill players, but also guys in the transfer portal that realize, hey, Garrett Riley's going to Clemson. We know how he's able to affect quarterbacks, and we've seen that growth there, but also his offense gets you NFL ready. That's one of the things I don't think people give Lincoln Riley enough credit for, is this isn't the air raid offense. This isn't some sort of abstract offense that is working because it's fresh or new. The reason it works is because it has all the elements of a traditional offense with some fringe things, but the balance of where they attack, when they attack, and how they attack, how they can pitch backwards on first down,
Tempo.
the quarterback run game, switching tempos or alternative tempos, however you want to call it, and then you have a nice vertical game with a vertical concept, with vertical concepts built off a power run game. What does Lincoln Riley do best? In my opinion, it's influence play action. What does that mean? They show you pulls on the counter and they beat you with the run game. They show you the pull and the power, then they use it, play action, power pass, stuff like that, with the threat of the quarterback run, whether that's fake and power read, and it just does something to the safeties, to the nickel, slot corner, whatever you want to call it, and just the defensive coordinator in general. So if I'm Clemson right now, not only you added him, you added Jeff Scott as well, coming back, the former USF coach. So offensively, Clemson upgraded huge, and I am so excited now to continue to watch this Clemson and South Carolina rivalry elevate, especially after what happened last year with South Carolina going in there and winning, Spencer Rattler coming back. You've got Clemson going to South Carolina this next year, which could be a massive game with massive implications in 2023. But to put it forward, Clemson's offense is back.
A-plus hire
They're
by
back.
Clemson, man. Really, I mean, we had this sense that Garrett Riley was going to take a big-time OC job somewhere else. You know, not that he couldn't stay at TCU after they played in the national championship, but he's a little bit green to take a head coaching opportunity. We weren't hearing anything. They really wanted to jump to the NFL. So all signs kind of pointed to Alabama, right? You know, if Bill O'Brien either went back to the NFL or something like that. I wasn't really thinking about Clemson with this hire, but man, did they do a great job. This changes a lot of things. My question for you guys is if Garrett Riley had been the OC at Clemson last year, with all of the shortcomings that DJ Uiagalelei did have, but also we talked about 5-touchdown game against Wake Forest. Like he really showed up in that middle part of the season. Do you think Garrett Riley could have gotten more out of DJ Uiagalelei to the point where Clemson could have possibly been a playoff team?
Well, and this is something I was kicking around last night. When I look at that team last year, and it's kind of the point I made in the open, is the skill. When Will Shipley is your, and I think Will Shipley's a good player. I think he's a nice running back. But if he's the best skill player at Clemson, there's a problem. with what they've had. Those guys they had on the outside, I know they've had some injuries. They're not beating Alabama on the outside with those guys. They're not beating Georgia on the outside with those guys. It's not the typical Clemson, right? We got to remember who Clemson is. Clemson was was David that was able to slay Goliath and then became Goliath. We had teams like Notre Dame and Oklahoma get there and just get swacked just by. Clemson was able to beat Alabama. Clemson was able to not only get there in a conference that isn't the strongest, but they were able to compete, not only compete, but survive and win when they got there. How did they do that? With unbelievable skill players that could go turn 50-50 balls into 70-30 balls against big-time players on the other side. I think half of Garrett Riley's most important value in this hire is the players he can get to go to Clemson at the skill position to be able to go make that plays. Because you guys know as well as I do, it's more about the players than the play caller. Obviously, you want the best play caller possible, but there's been a lot of schemes that were simple that looked unbelievable because they were great players. There were a lot of great schemes that didn't look very good because the players weren't good enough. Now, it's not all about the players, but it's a mix. So if you put Garrett Riley on that team last year, does he have a more positive effect on DJU? I think he could have put him in situations formationally and done a little bit of a different style of play calling on different down and distances than what Brandon Streeter did. I felt like Brandon Streeter just at some point was like, I'm not going to let DJU beat us. I'm going to be as simple as possible. I think there's some things that Garrett could have done, but I think half of this is the players that will want to go play offense under Garrett Riley at Clemson, getting them back to the level where they can go win a championship.
Sexy hire. That's what it is. It's a sexy hire, and good for them. I mean, you saw the ceiling for TCU. I mean, that was last year was the ceiling for TCU. I don't see them doing anything better than that. And you want to talk about schemes compared to players, right? What was the national championship game? It's not like the scheme changed. It's not like some drastic thing changed. You just saw better players. And you go to Clemson, this thing's a lot higher. You can get the players at Clemson to win a national championship. Obviously, it starts at the quarterback position, and DJU was not going to be that guy. I don't care who you put in there. You can put Sean McVay in there. You can put the best of the best. Some guys just don't have it. And DJU doesn't have enough. Oregon State's a great fit for DJU. I think he'll be okay there. I just don't think he's that good of a quarterback. Now you see the new regime come in. This can get Clemson back to where they used to be. In the playoffs, fighting for the playoffs. But right now, if you're a couple teams in the ACC, I'd be somewhat worried. FSU, you're not super stoked about this. All right, Miami, you're not super stoked about this. The higher tiers in the ACC, you're somewhat worried. But this is Clemson needed to make a move. They needed to make a move. They needed something like this. I thought he was going to end up at Bama. I really did. I thought Bill O'Brien would be gone, and he'd just walk right in at Bama. But I'm not surprised by Clemson because they're not upper echelon of college football teams, college football schemes. They get the players. There's about 7 teams in college football that get all the guys, and Clemson's one of them. So am I surprised by this? No. Is it a great move for Clemson? Yeah. Dabo Swinney, this is what you got to do. This is what the big name guys do. Yep. They get the guys to the coordinator positions. You're only as good as your coordinators. I promise you. The players you recruit and the coordinators you have, you're only as good as those guys. If you surround yourself with a great OC, a great DC, your head coach does his job, and you recruit well, everything will come together. It's like a fine wine. A fine wine, some cheese, maybe a charcuterie board. You know, that's what it's looking like.
You're on the charcuterie board these days?
I had one the other day. It's pretty fire.
Did you really?
Yeah, I had one at Phoenix.
Fenwick's?
Yeah, Fenwick's.
I like the little charcuterie. All right, before we get to the Booster Club, because we want your opinion on it, obviously, you know how big we are in sports gambling, and right now, we know that the NFL playoff picture is locked in, and our go-to place for the wild card round action is DraftKings Sportsbook. All right, they're the official sports betting partner of the NFL, and to kick off the road to Super Bowl 57, new customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. You need to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use our code BOOSTER, all right, BOOSTER, and you can get that deal too. Remember, it's $5 that you bet on the NFL, and you get $200 in free bets instantly. That is only at DraftKings Sportsbook with our code BOOSTER. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Plus, all new and existing customers can get a no-sweat bet each day of the wild card round this weekend. So if you you can place any NFL bet of your choice, and if it loses, you'll get a free bet back up to $10. All right, action's so good. Why bet the NFL playoffs?
No sweat bet?
No sweat bet. I'm not even sweating.
I'm taking that all day.
Yeah, walking outside, not even a drop.
Walking in,
but still have drip. Figure that one out. All right, Flamin' Dragon, Booster Club. What's going on?
Bin Laden. $5 donation.
Thanks, man, but it's wrong what you did.
$5 donation says because it's Flaming Dragon Friday.
That's exactly right.
You're damn right, Ben. You're damn right. Let's go to Revco 250. What's up, Revy? Jake, don't hate on the day. First off, I turned 13 on Friday the 13th.
He turned 13 on Friday the 13th. And
today I'm exactly halfway through level 34. It's going to be a good day.
Congrats.
Guys, the over-under set at 3.5.
Yeah.
All right.
Look, and we have the counter, all right? We have a counter that's going to count, and if I go over that number, it's going to explode. And I don't know. We may all be here together inside of it.
No.
That's how important it is.
No.
David, that's how important it is.
I'm out.
You signed up for
I'm
this.
out. At 2.5, I'm out.
No, it's 3.5, right? We said 3.5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you hit 3, I'm out.
All right, let's go to Jessup Polk. What's up, Jessup? Can't wait. What if it wasn't DJU? What if Clemson is just not as good as they used to be?
Back-to-back 10-win seasons, and that's the worst you got? I mean, golly.
Look, again, you look at Clemson's record. I mean, since Dabo really started getting it going, especially there in 2014, and it's really incredible. But the difference in them, and there's been a lot of teams that have had good records and winning seasons and things like that. But they've been able to get to the mountaintop once they've been there, and that's been the trick that people couldn't get over. I mean, Kirby just got over it the past couple of years. If you really look at it.
All right, let's go to Dakota Blackburn. Hashtag Ask Cranico. What's up, Dakota? I saw Dakota in Birmingham. How big of a blow is it to FSU with Garrett Riley coming to Clemson?
You said it.
Well, I mean, if I'm Florida State, I'm worried about my own house right now. It's a good situation. Look, I mean, you knew Clemson at some point offensively was going to have to do something, and obviously they reached a breaking point with Coach Streeter, and Clemson's obviously a place that can pay a lot of money. They can get they got a good culture. They can get the right guys in there. If I'm Florida State, I'm not tripping over Clemson right now. I'm looking at my roster saying, wait, I returned 21 to 24 starters. Jared Verse is coming back. You got you see what they done in the portal with Jaheim Bell and some additions they made with Jordan Travis. I mean, if I'm Florida State, nothing can keep me down right now. I'm up in the clouds.
You're not tripping, but you're stumbling.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not even stumbling.
Are you stumbling a little bit?
I'm walking in there with my head held high and a natty in my hand.
Is this a prediction?
No, it's Natty Light.
Is this nice. Good for you. All right, Christian Case. What's up, Christian? So what's the over-under and how many times Jake says Lincoln Riley instead of Garrett Riley?
Did I say Lincoln?
Yeah.
When?
A couple times.
Oh, well,
I'm gonna do it.
I'm not saying, look, that's not on the
You got
counter.
enough stuff on your plate.
Yeah, look,
right.
I'm fighting this hard. By the way, his name's what? Christian Case?
Mm-hmm.
God, is your brother named Justin? Because that'd be pretty sick.
That just feels like a Law and Order name to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to, we got a little donation pop up on in here. Jacob Lovelace with a $5 donation. Put $500 on the under. The odds are plus 1,000. Jake, don't let me down. Under Flaming Dragon.
Yeah, I'm not letting you down.
Don't let him
And
down.
the crazy thing is, we got that name counter on there, and they want me to say it so we can use the name counter. And I'm not saying it. It's a competition. I came here to win, all right? And I'm not a violent man.
All right, let's go to Con Air Ron. What's up, brother? Any of the Crane crew accompanying Walsh to the WNBA game?
Quite possibly.
What are you talking about? I'm going to be on the court.
You just wait. Are you playing?
Blaine's
Be on the court.
Oh.
What do you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, there's one.
All right. Okay. All right. That's fine. Good.
Look at that.
Good. Don't worry, Jacob. Don't worry.
that?
You know James loves this. It's like, God,
Yeah.
$500.
Well,
Reverse psychology, Jay.
it's still hitting. It's still we're still covering right
We're
now.
early, man.
So wait, is Blaine playing in the WNBA or is Blaine not playing?
Trying to get him let me
That's
in
his
there,
decision.
man.
They won't let him in.
Huh?
They won't let him in.
Yeah.
But
My bag's deep.
he's got to keep the beard.
I'm not shaving the beard.
Oh.
I'm not budging on the baby pillow.
Yeah. I'll lower the price of the bat.
All right,
Kenny
let's
Powers reference.
let's go to
I'm not gonna look.
Emmanuel C. What's up, E-Man? Hashtag Ask Crane Company. That's us. When will football head coaches or players start using Chat GPT to make post-game speeches after a loss?
Chat GPT.
Why not?
Well,
It's going to be right.
a lot of them already do. Bill Belichick's been doing that for about 6 years. He's like, he gets all the technology before everybody. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. So explain to me exactly what this is again.
Okay, well, I'm not Elon Musk. all
It's
right?
Google, right?
Well, I'm not asking you to tell me how to make this.
It's
install it.
It's Google, but like you're conversating with a person. That's what it feels like.
So
It
I
sounds like
asked,
you're conversating. You can ask it.
it's like Siri.
Like you can ask it like, you could ask it, right to get off my lawn. and it would write you and get off my lawn.
It wouldn't get off my line like I do it.
I'm not.
It wouldn't even know what it wouldn't even be able to creatively.
You haven't even explained to me what this is, and we already have to kill it.
Like,
yeah.
We already have to kill it.
No, this is nothing like.
I chat with bots all the time when I get on to buy something.
This is, David, it's tough for me to explain because I'm a stupid.
No, I heard Ben break it down.
Yeah,
I heard Ben was
Ben.
breaking it down, and he asked it like, why is abortion bad or something?
Yeah, it's
like,
it's out here writing theses papers and stuff like that.
I don't like that.
I'm not impressed by it.
Of course.
I'm not impressed by it.
I think we
to be
should
honest
kill
with
it.
you.
But that's
Now,
How do you kill it?
put that thing in a physical component that can also has a laser attached to it and maybe can bulldoze you over. It's an iRobot situation. That's a problem.
That's where it's going.
That's where it's
Have you
going.
seen the stuff that's out? I watched a video the other day of robots jumping around, shooting guns, doing flips. We're screwed.
I did see that.
We're screwed.
See, yeah, it's like
we're doing it to ourselves.
Like they didn't start with the car. They started with a part of the engine and then built the car. That's what worries me.
Yeah, and that's the worst part, Blaine. We did it. We did it to ourselves.
And we continue.
We're the smartest, dumbest animal alive.
Oh,
Let's go to Dakota Blackburn. What's up, Dakota? Hashtag Ask Crane Company. Y'all see that the NFLPA voted Jeremy Reeves to their all-pro team. Glad to see guys who deserve it due to their hard work. A little soft in your mouth.
Yeah, for sure. To get into Mobile and find the real answer. By the way, it's looking like there's going to be all robot umpires in AAA for 2023.
I have that on here.
God, my bad, man. I just was super excited about it. Even though they need to keep a guy there to scream at, but we'll get to that later. All right, Conathan, let's get to keys to victory.
Keys to victory, boys. We got the Chargers going to the Jaguars. And remember, week 3, the Jags went out there and put a beat down on them.
Look, the spotty senses are off the charts on this.
38-10.
Who do you got winning the Super Bowl, Jake?
The Chargers. Flaming Dragon. Great, I appreciate you bringing that up. We talked about it all yesterday. I'm going to talk about it again today. I know how to dance with the one that brought me. Feeling good about the guy's health after the last game in the building. But, when I look at this game, to me, the key for the Chargers is you have to let Herbert sling the pill, throw the bolt, let the lightning, ride or whatever, because the Jacksonville Jaguars secondary has more holes than a Swiss cheese factory. All right, they're one of the worst secondary. It's funny. They're one of the best against the run, one of the worst against the pass. And you say, oh, Jake, but I mean, they're super hot right now. Look at the Jags, and the defense was able to help win the game when Trevor Lawrence didn't play well last week to be able to even make the playoffs. Well, okay, let's look at the last 3 teams that the Jags played. All right, getting into the playoffs. The Titans, no quarterback, no offense, no passing game. The Texans, not scared of them. The Jets, not scared of them on offense. You did play the Cowboys, who we know Dak can panic all the time. Then you had the Titans before that, all right? And the Ravens 2 games before that. So when you look at these wins, their last 6 wins, 5 of those came against offenses that don't even know how to work an Etch-a-Sketch thing when it comes to the pass game. All right, so when I look at the Chargers, you have got to let her, I know it's going to be a little over 30 degrees. I know it's going to be 10 to 12 mile per hour winds, but you have got to let Herbert push this ball down the field. Mike Williams should be ready to go. Keenan Allen should be ready to go. You can't go in this game, and I don't think Coach Staley operates like this. You can't go in this game and play it safe. I think you need to take shots early. I think the Chargers win this game. I think Justin Herbert throws for over 300 yards, and he throws for 3 touchdowns. I think he goes absolutely bananas. A lot of play action to Eckler early. I like the Chargers a little bit more than what people think in this one.
You think so? Blaine, how about you?
Let's play a little bit game about how many times can we get the ball to Austin Eckler?
Yeah.
So the exact opposite?
Yeah. How many times can we give the ball to Austin Eckler? The Jags defense have not been phenomenal against the run. And I know they just played the Titans, but hell, we could probably get 8 guys together and give up 14 points to the Titans, to be honest. Josh Dobbs, a quarterback who's a brain scientist, but he's a mediocre quarterback. Let's be honest. Mike Williams is going to be out there for the Chargers. Huge piece. Keenan Allen will be out there. Bose is back. Derwin James back. A fully healthy Chargers team is a scary football team. Justin Herbert, a lot to prove. Still a lot to prove. Apparently, he's a social media quarterback, but he's out here breaking records. I really don't know what that means. But Trevor Lawrence is obviously going to have to play better. He played against the Jags. Against the Titans. If he's in the same remote realm as he played against the Titans, they're going to get walked. Mm-hmm. They will get walked by this Chargers team. I like Chargers. I believe the spread's -1. I'd play it up
to -2.5.
-2.5. I'd probably play it up to -4.5, -5.5. I don't believe in this Jacksonville defense. I do think Trevor plays a lot better, but I think Justin Herbert plays one of his best games of his career.
Well, the part that I find funny is like, oh, it's Justin Herbert's first playoff game. Well, it's Trevor Lawrence's first playoff game, too.
Yeah.
You know, I think people kind of forget about that.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I agree with you guys when you say a fully healthy Chargers team, especially when you have Derwin. Derwin James can do anything on a football field.
Freak show.
It truly is incredible. And the biggest thing when I was watching the Chargers offense throughout the season is Justin Herbert he would push the ball downfield sometimes, but it was mostly checkdowns to Austin Eckler, which was good for me because I had him on my fantasy team. So I was pulling for that a lot. But he had so many injuries at wide receiver. You had Keenan Allen, who was out for more than half the season, right?
Yep.
Mike Williams comes in only occasionally during the season and catches the most phenomenal passes you've ever seen. And then he got hurt in the last game, right, against the Broncos. So I don't know what his status is right this second.
Questionable.
But Jaguars at home with Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson seems to find this like underdog magic. I mean, he's been getting more and more out of Trevor Lawrence. It really is unbelievable. Zay Jones, Travis Etienne's been playing better. Christian Kirk. So I don't know. I think this Jaguars team at home, maybe can win this game.
I'm not saying they can't win it. I just, again, like Blaine mentioned and like we've talked about, if the Chargers are, and nobody's 100% healthy, you stop being 100% healthy the minute you're born. But just do it again.
Wow. Someone's on it in the control room. Is that PJ back there?
All right.
Oh, well, realistically, that's 3.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Realistically, that's not 3.
Yeah.
Booster Club has spoken. They said we missed
Well,
one.
3. We're early. We're 20 minutes in.
Wait.
Yeah.
Jacob Loveless is losing it right now.
All we have left is the hook.
Yeah.
We're hooked.
Well, guess what?
We're hooked already. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's no stopping it.
I feel like it's 2. We're going to protest that. Okay.
So, I want to see the health of the Chargers. I want to see the health of the Chargers, and I want to see if Trevor Lawrence panics when they're down 7 and you need a drive to come back and tie the game. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fascinating matchup.
But nothing can take away what Trevor's done this year. The steps this guy's taken this year,
For sure.
the strides he's taken right now. I take Trevor over a lot of
Yeah, but
quarterbacks
doesn't part of
right
you kind of worry if like down the stretch Trevor just falls apart like he did last week? He fell apart. Let's be honest. Let's everybody look each other in the eyes. Trevor played one of his worst games in the biggest moment of the season. You got a chance to resurrect that. You haven't really been in that moment a lot as a quarterback in the NFL. We saw you do it in college, but this ain't college. I don't
think he has that bad of a performance like he did the Titans. I don't think.
No, and he's only 1 year really into a legitimate system. We really can't count whatever was going on last year.
Yeah, that
with
was
Urban Meyer down there in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So he hadn't even played 2 full NFL seasons, to be honest. All right, next one on Saturday, Seattle at San Francisco. We've been talking about this, guys. Pete Carroll, Seattle was supposed to be one of the worst teams, maybe rebuilding team after trading away Russell Wilson. They found themselves in the playoffs against one of their biggest rivals.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a way that this isn't a murder. I'm just trying to. And Geno Smith, we've talked about it ad nauseum on here. Great story, fantastic season, one of Pete Carroll's best coaching jobs. But when I look at this Niners team and the way Brock Purdy has just come in and taken the reins, and it's been such an easy transition, a smooth transition for him to be able to come in and do what he's done. I love the Niners defense. You come out against the Cardinals the last week of the year, and they hit that touchdown pass to A.J. Green, which I don't even want to talk about it. But I feel like this Niners defense is going to score a touchdown on defense. I feel like Geno knows that he has got to play probably the best game that he has all year. You're going on the road. Kenneth Walker's a nice piece. We know that DK can do things not only vertically down the field, but in the intermediate and short passing game. I just think up front, the Niners have such an advantage in this game that Geno's not going to have time to sit back there and let these routes develop down the field, regardless of its man or if it's zone. You will see DeMeco Ryans, the 49ers defensive coordinator, dial up some things, but I think San Francisco can go in this game and rush 4 and play a lot of base defense and still have a ton of success. So really the key to me, if I'm looking at it from the 49ers standpoint, is the same one that I said about Georgia. You don't have to get cute here. You don't have to reinvent the wheel because Geno Smith had a good year. You need to go out there and continue to do what you do. Let Fred Warner and Armstead and those guys in the middle of that defense continue to operate at that level. And then offensively, you just maintain the status quo. Feed Christian. Debo's back and looked healthy last game. Spread it around. This is a game to me where I feel like Brandon Ayuk scores a couple touchdowns. He always seems to be the guy early in the game that gives them some scores. And then if you're the Seahawks, you're playing with house money, and you don't want to get into the habit of being so one-dimensional that you dig yourself a hole early. Kind of like we saw TCU against Georgia. What did they just do? Come out and do what? Just throw it. Just totally abandon the run game early. Oh, then we'll get back to it. The one drive they scored, hell, I think they ran it more times than they threw it. So the Seahawks got to pitch backwards. You got to mix it up, but you can't go into this game thinking, well, we just got to throw it every play because we're not going to be able to run it.
That's what I was going to say. If Geno Smith needs to throw the ball every play for Seattle, they're going to get blown out. They have to be able to run the ball. Blaine, do you think that Kenneth Walker in this run game can have success against the 49ers so they can at least try to stay balanced and keep it close to the end?
No, I don't. One thing about it is like, look, if Vegas is not going to be wrong a lot in the playoffs. I promise you. They're not going to be robbed in the playoffs. And any team to cover a team in the playoffs by 10, they think they're going to get their ass beat. They really do. You're looking at this 49ers. Find me a weak spot in this 49ers roster.
I know.
What's the weak spot? I mean, we would say Brock Purdy, but Brock's been balling lately. I mean, you're getting Debo back. You have Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, who scores 8 touchdowns.
Jawan Jennings, maybe one of those
Jennings, who's an absolute tree. You're good up front. Let's look for the defensive line. It's the scariest thing I've seen in a while. Your DBs are playing phenomenal. Fred Warner, maybe the top 2 linebackers, him and Roquan Smith. I mean, up front, you are getting there every other play. You're looking at a 49ers team right now that is good enough to win the Super Bowl. Stacking rosters, if you stack the 49ers against anybody else's roster, they have the best roster in the NFL. I think the Seahawks is a cool story. Really Hansel and Gretel. Geno Smith, congratulations. Your career is now back going. It's back going. You're going to be the quarterback for the Seahawks, as you should be. But one, you don't have enough up front on the offensive line.
No.
You're going to be running for your life. The defensive line, you're not going to touch Brock Purdy. Your secondary is good. You're young. But how long can you cover for?
It just makes me feel like it's kind of like the Niners' big bad defense. It's like on Toy Story. You know, that little ginger kid with the freckles that just mutilates the dolls. That's just what the Niners feel like. They're just going to grab the Seahawks like Woody and just throw them around and like strap like one of those little bottle rockets to the back of them and just, Lord knows what D'Amico Ryan.
They just don't have enough. They just don't have enough.
You just don't have enough.
Well, that's it for Saturday's games. Remember, we're going to have a Sunday show to recap those Saturday games and then preview Sunday's games.
Yep, Sunday in the morning. Check it out, 8 Central. We're going to be previewing, like he said, the great matchups on Sunday and looking back at hopefully what we just described because we're probably going to be betting that way. All right, Flaming Dragon, back to the Booster Club. Still on the under. Ha, ha, ha.
Roju, what's up, brother? $5 donation.
He
says, what if C.J. Stroud stayed? What if he didn't declare?
I've been hearing more and more about it's going to come down to an NIL collective. It's what I've been hearing.
There's no way.
That's what I've been hearing.
There's no
I've already
way.
seen some Buckeye fans saying they're mortgaging their house again.
No chance. I've never seen somebody turn down being a top 5 pick. Which CJ, look, you can't, other than winning the national championship, and I get it, that's why you go to Ohio State, you couldn't end it on a better note than what CJ Stroud did. I mean, you saved your best game for your last one in the biggest moment against the team that absolutely pistol whipped TCU and was the best team in the country. I'm Gonzo the Clown. I don't think there's any.
This would just be like the completely flip side of what Ohio State players have been doing. They've been opting out there last year. That's what we see from Ohio State guys. I mean, Jigba, with injuries, you saw for Bosa. There's certain guys. You tell me C.J. Stroud, it's probably going to be a top 3 pick. Top 3 pick, Dave.
I know.
Is going to come back.
Look, I'm torn on it, man. I'm torn on it because as a Michigan fan, I don't want to see C.J. Stroud again. He's lost back-to-back to Michigan. That kid's not losing 3 in a row.
Yeah,
okay. But also, it'd be great for college football, and I'm secretly a C.J. Stroud fan. So.
Yeah, no, I like CJ a lot, but again, I think his brain works, so I think he's going to go.
All right, Travis O, what up, Travi? Hashtag Ask Cranico. Who should TCU hire as the OC?
You know, it's interesting because we know Sonny Dykes and his offensive, philosophy and mindset, but he's not going to be the offensive coordinator. It's not how he operates. You want to get somebody that's I think similar in identity and balance and being able to, utilize the quarterback run game as well, because we've seen the way that's kind of revolutionized football when you got a guy that's able to throw too. Looking around the country, maybe see if it's me, I would have gone after Jeff Scott. Who's at Clemson now, the former USF coach. Jeff runs something somewhat similar, kind of in the same vein. We know he's a really good offensive mind. I would not be shocked if we saw that actually happen. I don't think, TCU and them are going to trade coordinators. I don't think Brandon Streeter is going to TCU, but I'm looking at Jeff Scott right now. And at the end of the day, man, he's a guy that'd be a great fit. And I think TCU, with what they have, with what they may have, you're hearing Walker Howard, the LSU quarterback that transferred, may end up at TCU. I'm looking at Jeff Scott. That's exactly where I'm looking.
Cohen, you got anybody?
Do what?
OC, TCU.
No, not yet. I'm looking over here at some of these rapid fires here.
By the way, we are taking calls right now, and we are going to put you on the show soon. I know some of you guys are on hold. Go ahead and call in. We've got the number up on social media. You can find it. It's very, very, very easy. We look forward to your call. All right, Conathan, rapid fire.
Let's do it. All right, here we go. We're going to try and get this in so that we get to It's Mid as well before our call-ins. All right,
that day.
Like Jake talked about, all AAA ballparks in 2023 will use the automated balls and strike systems.
I like it, but I still want somebody back there for the coach to yell at.
No, you don't get that.
No,
you either get automated balls and strikes like you want, or you can have the real umpire.
I want an old man sitting in a box that's covered in a cage, almost like the things they put you in when they put you underwater with sharks. And so when the coach disagrees with the robot umpire, he goes and screams at that guy. Or I want the teams to have a robot that then fights the robot umpire.
Yeah. Robot coaches.
Real steel.
Robot umpires.
Were we not just talking about robots?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
That's different.
Here's Robot Blaine. Hold on.
College Warburg, you
are out of here. No, but you're only programmed to call balls and strikes, not, take over.
Well, they still have to call safe and out,
safe.
right? So there's going to be someone there. There'll be a home plate umpire.
Yeah, there will, but I just want to make sure that he's still there so the coach can come out and yell at him.
For balls and strikes?
Yes.
Or outs and saves?
All of it.
You can't yell at him for balls and strikes
Yes, you
anymore.
can.
No, he's off the hook.
Tell me who I
just
can
like,
and can't
just like
yell
I
at,
told you guys
David.
with car insurance when automated vehicles come here. I'm not on the hook for car insurance anymore. It's on you. I'm not driving.
No, again, it's not so much about it was his fault. It's that sometimes
It's cathartic.
Some people are in customer service.
It's a cathartic
Some people
experience.
get calls and yelled at all day.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't hear them complaining.
Man, that's bad. Sounds like half of the parks will just have automated balls and strikes, and the other half, I believe, will have a challenge system. So you can challenge it, sort of like what tennis does.
Oh, God. You don't need this in baseball.
It's like
It already takes 13 hours to watch a game. We don't need to challenge balls and strikes.
I don't know. I have to look into it more. All right, Atlanta would host the Bills-Chiefs AFC Championship if we get that game.
True neutral site. True neutral
Not
site.
even in the same conference.
It's exactly right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's way out of there.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, let's go watch the team play in Atlanta. This seems to me like one of those college football kickoff classics where they're like, hey, Oregon is going to play Washington State in Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's like, how did you come up with those locations? No, I think it's fantastic. The city of Atlanta would do a good job hosting it.
Derek Carr did bid farewell to the Raiders.
And part of me thinks,
Hey, put some respect on
this
that
makes me
name.
think of that
Put some respect on that man's name.
Sarah
Blaine.
McLachlan song.
Good.
I just feel like Derek Carr looks like the guy that nobody really talks about in the famous boy band. You know, like your Backstreet or NSYNC. Like he's not really the Justin Timberlake or the Nicholas.
Hey, he still got paid.
Still got paid. He's out there, just dancing.
He still got paid, man.
There is some fits for Derek Carr. I just feel like mentally Derek Carr's kind of all over the place a little bit.
Yeah.
But he seems like a really good guy.
I like Derek Carr.
And I want
I
to
do
work
too.
out for him. But I don't know. He seems kind of
Sounds like you really like him a lot.
I like him. He's always crying.
Well, it's like that part on
always
his
crying?
What do you mean? He's always every press conference. He's up there crying.
That man
about
cares.
something.
That man cares. He's invested in the team, okay?
Well, I just wonder if they did what, Adam Sandler and them did on The Longest Yard, where they started putting estrogen in the locker room.
Dude.
The guy thought it was
Every day his dog
testosterone.
dies. Like every day he's up there like his dog dies. Every day. They could have won. I love these guys, man. Okay, we get it. It's a business. You don't care that much. Don't sit here and cat me, Derek. That's why you
Golly.
stepped away.
You are a heartless.
You loved him so
you are a
much you
heartless
stepped
individual.
away.
Meanwhile,
Hey, you'll always be better than your brother, though. That's what
you're heartless. Meanwhile, if we get Derek Carr on the show, what do you think Blaine would say to him?
Probably that.
Man,
I would
I'm
say
such a
that
big
to him.
fan of
Blaine would
yours.
try and make him cry to prove his point on air.
Blaine,
I wouldn't have to
man,
make
you
him
had
cry.
such a good career.
Oh! Yeah, there it is.
Hey, that's David's fault. It's collusion.
Yes.
David took the tumbler.
That was not intentional.
Thank
but
you.
Yeah, now
that was
I'm on
not
his side.
intentional, but still funny.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Kevin Warren is leaving as the Big Ten commissioner
This ruined the
to
whole
be
show
the
for me.
CEO.
I don't even want to talk anymore about sports.
To be the CEO of the Bears.
Cool.
Awesome. All right, next.
Look, am I the biggest Kevin Warren fan ever? No.
Huge fan.
I think
You're
it's
not?
a good move.
Oh, I thought
Does it
you
make
were.
you think, though, that maybe if it doesn't work out for Eberflus this year and Harbaugh goes back to Michigan, having a Big Ten guy as the CEO of the Bears? I don't know. I just look at future connections.
Played for the Bears, too.
I mean,
Harbaugh's not leaving. Oh, he's not leaving.
You see the Michigan president come out yesterday?
What do you
Yeah.
say?
Said I've had positive talks with both Jim Harbaugh and AD Ward Manuel. I've made it clear that I want Jim Harbaugh to be the head coach
Yeah,
of Michigan. and we're gonna
basically,
get
she
this
told
worked out.
Ward Manuel to shut up.
No,
I had
it's a he
positive
now.
talks with
There's
Jim
a new,
Harbaugh
there's a new
and
president.
Fred.
Oh,
It's not
okay,
Mary
okay.
Sue Coleman
Oh,
anymore. It's
wow.
a new president. And yeah, basically a subtle way of saying, hey, the AD's not going to have the final call.
Yeah.
Yeah, look,
Good.
I don't trust anybody named Ward. Like I feel like you're in like one of those movies in the 50s.
What was that? Leave it to
I don't
Beaver?
trust anybody
something
named
like that.
Eberflus. Sounds like Operation Paperclip.
That's
All right, moving on.
Yeah.
The Ebers were flusing.
Moving on, Charles White, the great running back
Yes.
from Southern California, died at 64. Heisman Trophy winner. Sad news there to hear.
Very sad. We've had a couple lately. Alabama just lost a former running back at 42 years old. It's just sad. Unbelievable person. You hear the stories coming out. You saw it all over social media about what a great man he was, and again, a great life lived, and was a guy that did things the right way. So it's always sad to see when a great person moves on.
Heisman Trophy and national champ, man.
Yeah, it's a good career.
All right, let's go to NASCAR here for a second because Kevin Harvick announced that he will race his final season in NASCAR in 2023. Keep in mind, this is his 23rd year. All right. He filled in just 5 days after Dale Earnhardt died.
I know. I think people forget that too because he's such a name in NASCAR now. You think of Kevin Harvick and you think of what he's done on the track. You kind of forget that he was the guy that stepped in after the horrific tragedy with Dale Earnhardt Sr. But look, 23 years. You do anything for 23 years. I'm not saying like being a hitman or something or like anything bad, but anything productive for 23 years that's this competitive, that's this high level, that is this close between the competition, and you're able to have the success that he had. It's a career well done, and now he can just drive fast in the interstate.
2014 Cup champion and 60 victories all time, which is ninth on the
Yeah,
all-time
that's. I
list.
mean, you're top 10. You're top 10 in anything in NASCAR outside of crashes. It's a good situation.
Also, Cone trivia fact, I was at the last race Dale Earnhardt completed.
Really?
It was the Daytona 500 qualifier.
You've just been
before
everywhere.
that
You
race.
were
My
running
parents
to go
took us
see
to the
Bagger
qualifier.
Vance.
I was
You
in
were
that
at the
too,
last
yeah.
one, the Dale Earnhardt Jr. You were with Neil Armstrong when he walked on the moon.
No, but I did meet him later, though.
Okay.
You know, me and Neil Armstrong had the same birthday.
Y'all do? No. I think I have the same birthday as Taylor Swift, so yours is cooler.
Really?
I think.
Wow.
Boys, that's all I have, boys. Rapid fire.
Good
That's all I have.
job. Okay.
Oh, good, great, awesome.
go.
Flight crew. Zach, you want to fly it on in here?
Fly that thing in here,
let's
Zach.
go.
That's the podium.
Hey, everybody
coming
in the chat give Zach a
All
round
right,
of
we got
applause
3
here with
minutes
his nice
until we're taking
haircut.
calls. Which
3
is
minutes.
plenty of time for
I'm
Blaine.
sitting over here.
All right, man, get in there.
Ooh.
Hey, everybody, Zach got a haircut today, so make sure you tell him how good he looks. In the
Everybody-
chat. It looks phenomenal. Zach, thank you. Thank you.
Everybody tell
yeah.
Zach how much you like his haircut.
Actually, I almost feel like we need to take calls with Blaine at the podium, but
We got to make this kind of quick. Great, awesome, sweet. I'm glad.
It's already on the over. It's already on the over.
you quit
don't
trying?
celebrate it.
Keep hitting it. No, I want to make sure we get to a certain count today. All right, guys, it's mid. I don't know if he flew in the graphic already, but I really don't care. Let's start this one. This one I missed on a couple times before, but it's time we talk about it. It's Mama Goldberg's.
Yeah, I'm out.
It's Mama G.
And for that reason.
And let's be specific here, okay? All right. The atmosphere, phenomenal. The beer, great. Hell, I even get behind the Doritos with cheese on it you put in the oven. Sandwiches, mediocre. It's a soggy Jimmy John's.
Oh, that's
what it is. It's a soggy Jimmy John's.
Right, word.
I would so much rather walk down the street, couple blocks, all right, go to the Moe's, get 12 wings, some nice nachos, all right, and sit there and enjoy the game. Mama G's, so it's sub-tier sandwich shop. Let's be honest. It is. I'm just being honest. You know it, and you know it. Have you ever been to a Mama G's?
Yes, I've interviewed the guy who started it across from Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Well, he's probably mid.
Okay?
Yeah.
Nice as
All
he
right.
could possibly be. Don't you talk about Mama Goldberg's life?
I can talk about Mama Goldberg. I just did.
How mid could it be if you like half the stuff they have?
Well, it's all about the what, David? The sandwiches.
Okay.
It's about the sandwiches. Mama's Love. Well, Mama's Love is pretty mid. Let's be honest. All right. The second one, anybody who likes Taylor Swift. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's just bad music. Just because one kid named Chris when you were 13 every album's the same. Chris, Todd, Jacob. You're the problem. At the end of the day, listen to the song, person in the mirror, chick in the mirror, man in the mirror. At the end of the day, you're the problem. If something keeps going wrong, you can't just blame it on everybody else. You're the problem, all right? Next up, whoever made the movie Step Up and Pitch Perfect, get out.
Pitch Perfect?
Get out. Movies with singing and choreographed dancing are the worst. Grease, oh, God. Can't watch 30 minutes of without throwing up in my mouth. It's that bad. It's that bad. You ever seen Step Up?
Yeah,
you ever
which
seen
one?
Step Up? All three of them?
Yeah.
It's the same movie. They're literally just stepping up.
Yeah.
The entire movie.
What's wrong with Pitch Perfect, though?
It's terrible. That's what's wrong with it, Dave. Do you like it? I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't care much. I just know that it's Richard. It's my father-in-law's favorite movie. Pitch
Well, Richard, I'm disappointed
Watches it
in a
every
lot
week.
of things. I'm going to be honest. Next thing, people who listen to music out loud or talk to their phone on speaker in public. I hate you. I hate you so much.
I do that.
I don't condone violence, but if I could strangle you, I would. I would with my bare hands. No one cares. First of all, your music sucks. And second of all, no one cares about your conversation. We don't want to hear it. Take the phone off speaker. For the love of everything holy, take the phone off speaker, okay? Thank you. Next one, Joe Milton. What? I have to sit here and ask Barrett Sallee if he's going to be a top 5 pick? Can he complete 20 passes in a game first? He's overthrown everybody in his career. He run a swing route. He's breaking people's fingers. But no, he's going to be a top 5 pick? What do you mean? He can barely throw a dig. Hell, put David out there. David at least be a top 12 pick.
I feel so.
Yeah,
I feel so much support.
Yeah, good. You should. You're better than Joe Milton. So you're better than mediocre. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, and anybody who watches American Horror Story, you need to be watched for at least 6 months. You freak. You weirdo. What? Even the guy who won the award the other day was like, I could barely do it. I could barely act, and he's like, I know it's tough to watch. Yeah, it's tough to watch. People who watch only serial killer documentaries and just watch people getting murdered before they go to sleep needs to maybe spend 6 months in jail. Or have someone watching over him unsuper, like, not knowing, because something's up. Something's up. I know it's mostly chicks. It's mostly chicks who watch the murder stories. Am I right?
Yeah.
Reed probably watches, right? Does Darby watch them?
Reed's not.
No?
American Horror Story?
Yeah.
No.
No? Well, good for her. Maybe she's the exception. Last one. This is kind of serious. The athletes and the vaccine. Something's going on. All right, something's going on. Usually 29 cardiac events a year. Since COVID, we had over 1,500 athletes with cardiac events. All right, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not John Brinkus. All right? But something's wrong, okay? And we have to figure it out. Now, I'm not saying anything with DeMar Hamlin was because of that. I don't think it is.
Yeah.
But over 1,500 since COVID? 1,500.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And that's it, Smith.
That's a lot. Good job.
I love
Blaine.
it. Nice job, Blaine.
I'm not,
Daddy-O,
I'm not a science or a doctor, but I'm both.
Daddy-O says, but why are you wearing Taylor Swift boots? And Sister Rig wants to know, why did you watch all 3 step-ups?
I didn't. I watched
Stepped
the
up
first
3
one.
times.
And
All
then the
right.
next thing, the kid was dancing in the rain, and I turned it off.
Let's get to some calls.
All right, here we go, boys.
You ready for this, David?
I'm ready for this. Are y'all ready for this?
I'm ready for this. I was born for this.
All right, let's go to Jack. Jack's coming in hot from Minnesota. Jack, I need you to set the tone early here on Flaming Dragon Friday. What do you have for us?
Hey, guys. I've been a real big fan ever since you guys started at the Daily Wire, so you guys have made me love sports again, which I know you guys get a lot, but all of us that say it truly mean it because sports has been a big part of everybody's life, but you guys have made it even better, especially after sports got so political.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of stepped away from it, but you guys have made me love sports again, even though I'm a Minnesota fan, and we're always heartbroken like Mets fans.
Big win
So-
last night against the Buckeyes, though. Big win last night for Minnesota.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my question, I know it's not baseball season, and Carlos Correa saga kind of made a lot of Minnesota fans and just baseball fans in general kind of confused, but I was wondering, since Ben, you guys had Ben on your show a couple months ago, and he said that he would get rid of half of the Major League Baseball teams if he could. What teams would you guys get rid of if you could? I would personally make Oakland move to Vegas or kind of get out. And I would personally get rid of the Angels because I don't think we need the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I find that the most ridiculous name in all of baseball. And maybe Tampa Bay move to Montreal or just figure out what they're going to do with the stadium and everything. So what teams would you guys get rid of?
Jack, first off, thanks for your call, buddy. We really appreciate the kind words, man. That means a lot to us. That's why we started it. First off, when I look at I agree with you 100% about the A's. And they wouldn't be the first team to move from Oakland to Las Vegas. Let's go ahead and make it a daily double. It's working out for the Raiders. Have you seen Allegiant Stadium? I mean, it looks like Zeus's
pretty
palace.
Cool.
Yeah, we drove by when we were out there in Vegas. With Tampa Bay, I have just always been so confused, and I know there's some reasons why, and I know the Marlins as well have done stupid things when you look at what they did with their park. I've just wondered why it hasn't worked out better from a monetary standpoint in Tampa Bay, because they've had success as well. Now, I wouldn't move them to Montreal. You know where I'd move them, Jack? Right here to Nashville. That's what I would love, and I think Nashville's...
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, I think Nashville's actually leading for an expansion team right now. I know Montreal's involved in the talks as well. I'm 100% with you as well on the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, formerly of whatever.
Yes.
It's like, kind of a Prince type deal. I think we have too many Major League Baseball teams in California. I just think we have too many. I mean, look at the Dodgers. Look at the Padres. I mean, I can go down the list. We don't need one that has 13 different names to it and that ruined Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani. So I'll never forgive you for that.
I'm just trying to get the Yankees name changed. It's a derogatory term. I just want the New York Yankees need to be a different team.
Take to the New York Southerners.
Jack, we really appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for calling in. All right, next one here. We got the Midwest represented, boys, because we're going to Sully in Illinois. Sully, what's going on?
Hey, I just want to say thanks for taking my call. I appreciate what you guys do. My question is more sports adjacent. Happy Gilmore is top tier.
Yes,
Waterboy is legendary.
Yes.
As you mentioned, The Longest Yard and Hustle. So which Sandler movie is the best sports movie, and what sport should he do next?
Oh, God. First off, Sully, you're coming and bringing the heat.
Wow,
I
Sully?
love that. For me, it's an easy answer. And he's had some great ones. I am going to go with The Waterboy.
Yes.
The Waterboy is my favorite sports movie. It's one of my favorite comedies. Not that I haven't enjoyed the other ones. I feel like, we think about Adam Sandler a lot, and we think about basketball, right? It's funny, he makes The Longest Yard in football and The Waterboy in football, and he's famous for that. But Adam Sandler is actually a pretty good basketball player. I feel like it should be something kind of out there, though. Maybe not a mainstream sport. Yeah, like curling.
Pickleball.
Something that Adam Sandler can kind of make his own and bring the guys. Bring Rob Schneider. The whole group that they seem to kind of bring together for every movie. Like Shaq, David Spade, and guys like that. And the guy who played the ladies' man, I forgot his name, but he's hilarious. So look, I think he should go kind of outside the box. And I tell you what, Sully, I would watch it. And your list was on fire.
What's your favorite one?
God,
Sandler sports.
Happy Gilmore's a close two.
Oh, it's a close two. I agree.
Happy Gilmore almost shaped me as a kid.
Yeah.
The first time I watched Happy Gilmore, I don't know which one I laughed more at, The Waterboy or Happy Gilmore, but The Waterboy is timeless, man. It's just timeless. It's just such a great.
It has to be Waterboy.
It has to be Waterboy.
But Happy Gilmore right there, and The Longest Yard
right there,
and like the part at the beginning when he calls him Frodo Baggins.
Yeah,
like, there's just so many funny lines throughout that.
Yeah, he's a great writer. But Sully, man, we really appreciate it, man. Y'all, we've got a call from Minnesota and Illinois. Y'all stay warm out there, my friend.
Thanks, Sully.
All right, Sully.
See you, man. All right, let's go to Joshua. We got Joshua coming in hot from Oklahoma.
We do got the Midwest rep. Joshua, what's up, man?
Hey guys, I'm Bacon Eater in the chat.
Nice.
Bacon Eater.
My God. Good to finally talk to you.
Hey, my question is on TCU. I know Georgia can smother them absolutely, but I was watching them half the season, and I think the big stage got to their heads, and it changed their mentality completely.
Yeah, Joshua, when you look at that situation, it's your first time, right? Think about the first time you've done anything. I mean, the first time you drove a car or the first time you were under pressure to perform at the highest level. that does have an effect. Even if you are a guy that is a fifth-year quarterback and you have experience at other positions, yeah, you've experienced playing in the game, and hell, you've experienced playing in big games. You just lost a big game, but this is the biggest of the biggest going against the best of the best. And like I said before the game, when you watch the tape, it doesn't lie. It's the hardest thing for a coach is to convince his team they have a legitimate chance to win in a way that's not just hyping them up, that they really believe, that's genuine. Because when you turn on that tape and you see Jalen Carter and you see the rest of the aliens that are running around on that Georgia defense and that are on that roster, and you see the size of these guys in person, just the natural human condition, it does something to you. I think you saw it a little bit on those first couple drives where they weren't able to do anything, and Max misses the wide open guy when he rolls right when Georgia was in man that would have turned into a big play down the sidelines. And it took them, 2 or 3, 4 drives to get settled in. They go down and score. One bad thing happens. They run to the panic room with Jody Foster, and they're never able to get back from it. I agree with you. It got them a little bit. But I still will say this, Joshua. I think that game was more about Georgia than it was about TCU.
Oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense. TCU didn't play their normal game, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, they didn't play their best game, and they had to. They had to play their best game and catch some breaks, which sounds a lot like the game against Michigan. So I just don't think it happened.
Blaine, your thoughts?
Well, if you're a TCU fan, look, I mean, it was nothing but you got to keep your head up. And sooner or later, you just run into a squad there's nothing you can do. There's not a magical play call out there. You can run a trick play every 3 plays, and that's not going to work. Georgia is built different, man, and where they're built different is in the trenches. The higher you go, the harder it gets in the trenches on both sides of the ball. That's why I was so surprised at TCU at the Michigan game, because what was questioned the entire time was physicality. And Michigan's offensive line was supposed to be the most physical guys out there, and they played well, but TCU held their own. They bend but didn't break and made key plays at key moments to keep themselves in the game. TCU, I think, in my opinion, this was their ceiling. All right, you're an older team. You have an NFL quarterback. You had a couple of NFL guys at wide receiver. But right now, this is the exposure you need to stay there. In a 12-team playoff, you keep playing the way you are with Oklahoma and Texas leaving the Big 12, there's room at the top for someone to step in at that number 1 spot, and TCU can do that. I mean, you just got Besh from LSU out of the portal. You're winning right now in the portal, but you really need to hit on this OC hire. It has to be a splash hire, and if you do that, you'll be fine. But you just ran into Georgia, man. They have all the best players.
Yeah. You did raise your standard, though.
For sure.
You showed that you could get there, and that's an important thing.
Joshua, thanks so much for calling in, man. All right, let's go to Jared. We got Jared coming in from Seattle, boys.
Seattle,
Jared,
right?
Jared, what do you have for us?
That coffee's good.
Yeah, I just had a quick question in regards to my alma mater real quick. I apologize for my voice being kind of scratchy. It's like 5:30 out here, so.
Oh, it's either that or you're Batman, so either way, it is what it is.
All right, so real quick about my Missouri Tigers. Just so I have a theory, and I just need to know if I'm just like a delusional biased fan or if there's actual weight to this theory. All right.
Good.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at the amount of draftable pros that my state has put in to the NFL over the past couple of years, especially at the skill position, whether it be the kid who played running back at Michigan, Hassan Haskins, or the one at Notre Dame, Kyron Williams, and then on the outside, there's the Jamison Williams from St. Louis, there's Ronnie Bell from Kansas City. And so I'm just looking at even the ones that are currently in the SEC, like Dom Levitt at Georgia. So I'm looking at all of these skill positions. And I know that you guys say all the time, the game is always won up front in the trenches. But I can't help but be confused on the reason why the state is putting up this much talent in the skill positions, yet a school like Missouri can't seem to get the kids on campus when I think outside of Ohio State, there is no other Power 5 school that only has there's no other state that only has one Power 5 school with 2 major metros to draw from. So I've never really understood that. And I need to know if my school is actually a sleeping giant that I think it is, or if I'm still a delusional bias fan.
No, well, that's why it was such a big deal when Luther Burden committed to Missouri. They kept that guy there. It was more of an anomaly than the norm. And that's the trick. We hear, the term build a fence around your state or build walls around your state and don't let people come in and raid it. Missouri is one of the most underrated states from a talent standpoint. I recruited the state when I was coaching in junior college. I know about those kids that eat St. Louis. I get it. I've recruited from literally every area of Missouri. I'll say this. I do feel like Missouri has a ton of potential, and we see blips of it, right? We see it every now and then. We see flashes of it. But to have that consistent success, Missouri has to stack a couple good years together. Do they have the potential to do it? Hell yes. I mean, you listed off some of the guys. There's a lot more talent in Missouri than what people think. I think what Missouri needs is consistency and stability. I think that's why they're giving Drink so much time after going through, the ups and downs. Gary Pinkel was the last consistent thing that you had really at Missouri, if you really want to look at it and be honest. They're going to give Drink every opportunity because he can recruit. All right, he has embraced Missouri, and you feel like he's loyal to the school. But with the money that they have, the resources that they have, the talent in state, and the brand, I think Missouri is underachieved for a long time, and I think you agree with me.
Thank you, Jared. Thanks for calling in, man. Let's squeeze one more in here quick. Let's get Jack from Alabama. Jack, are you there?
Hey.
Hey, guys. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning to you.
Well, first off, I appreciate y'all taking my call today, and I appreciate Flaming Dragon reading my chat for the National Championship game. In that chat, I talked about TCU's 3-3-5 being something that I look forward to seeing in Auburn. Do you think Roberts will adjust his system to the SEC? Because the way I saw it, TCU played kind of scared and wouldn't send like a backer when they were only rushing 3. Mm-hmm. How do y'all think that's going to work out?
I think you're going to get a blend. We always talk about 3 down and 4 down, and typically 3 down becomes 4 down most of the time, or you're going to rush 4 or bring 4. I think when it comes to the SEC, and we've seen remember Derek Mason coming in to the SEC even at Vanderbilt, running the 3-3-5. He didn't stay in that very long. You remember that? He went to that 4 down pretty quick or started walking that jack down. You've got to be balanced. You've got to have a mix. But I do think they will base out of a 3 down. But when you base out of a 3 down, just like when you're facing the triple option, you want to stop the dive, right? You start with stopping the dive and you take everything else away. Well, when you run the 3-3-5 on defense, 3-3 stack, whatever you want to call it, that's the triple option of defense. You have to have a nose that can control that center, and really both of those A's can at least get push and penetration. Because when I get push and penetration early from the inside, it almost takes a gap away. So does Auburn have that guy up front that they trust to be able to put in at nose? Do they got a backup to where they can do some things where you're in a nose and 2 5s, or you're in a nose and 2 3s and you're going bare and walking guys down? I think Roberts has been around the block so long. He knows what he's going to get from an 11 and 12 personnel standpoint. And when you look at what Georgia did to TCU, and Auburn and TCU, when they're both cooking, I think Auburn has better players than they do up front. I think we can both agree, and everybody agree on that. But finding ways to still be multiple, but staying in a true I don't want Auburn to rush 3 the whole game. That is a recipe for disaster. You saw what Bryce Young did to it. It's like I said, he beat us up in front of all the kids at the high school. All right, so we're just embarrassed now. But I think Roberts is going to be multiple. I think you're going to get some 3 down. I think you're going to get some 4 down. A lot of it depends on the personnel.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jack. Go ahead.
I absolutely agree with that. You need a nose that has SEC experience that can move around, and I think they just got that with Justin Rogers.
Yep.
I would like to see, Jeffrey and Bob kind of develop into a nose just because he has that speed and quickness that I like, and he's got a big frame.
Without a doubt. I mean, you've seen getting Justin Rogers from Kentucky was huge. Former 5-star defensive lineman. That's a guy you build around. That's a guy you build around from the inside out. That's a guy that helps you sleep a little better at night. And they've gotten a couple other transfers in the portal that I think are going to help out front, and some young guys I'm interested to see. But, Jack, we appreciate it, my friend. I appreciate everybody that called in. Man, that's so
Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it, man.
We got to do that more.
All right, we're going to get Tom Luginbill here in just a second. But what's the Booster Club got before then?
Oh,
Unless
there's
Tom's
Tom
in.
right there.
Is Tom in?
Tommy, how's it going?
What's up?
Oh, there he is.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question. Are you as excited as I am to take the practicum for spring football?
Oh my, yeah.
This coming March.
Man.
I'm so excited. You know, in my practicum of study, when we talk about practicums like Lambeau practicum, Soldier practicum, it just gets me excited. It gets me really, really excited.
Well,
I'm just glad we're not dangerous anymore with the word field.
Have you seen the Kevin Costner movie, Practicum Fields?
Yeah. Practicum of Dreams?
How about
Dreams?
Practicum of Dreams? How about my colleague at ESPN, Practicum Yates?
Yates, yeah. Or the quarterback for the Bears, Justin Practicums.
Practicums.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Justin Practicums.
Yeah,
make it
great.
stop.
Yeah.
Make it stop.
No.
We
have nice things.
Again, it's one of the many reasons why the aliens won't talk to us, Tom. I mean, again, it is what it is. I mean, they look down here and laugh. It's the greatest reality show ever, and we're their Discovery Channel, and they just probably turn on and laugh. But speaking about turning on and laughing, how about that national championship game, Tom?
What a scrimmage, right? I think I tweeted it was varsity versus the freshman fifth quarter.
Yes.
That's
exactly
really
what it was.
And you know, it's interesting because, you know, having the Sugar Bowl just a week prior to that and seeing what Alabama did to dismantle Kansas State and envisioning that Kansas State team beating TCU, it was like going into the national championship game, if anybody even thought there was some type of reasonable shot, I don't know how you could have come to that conclusion before the game was even played.
Yeah, and people say, oh, well, then TCU beat Michigan, and they did. But everything went the way that TCU had to have it to go to win that game. The turnovers inside the 5, 2 pick sixes from the first quarter to the fourth. I'm sorry, David. I know this is painful, dog. I know this is painful to bring up. But that's it. If you know football and you watch, you said, all right, what are the odds of TCU being able to catch those breaks? And if Georgia plays even remotely well, is it going to matter if they catch any breaks? Turns out that it didn't. But I do want to fast forward to next year when you look at this Georgia team, Tom. They're young in some spots. You do lose Stetson Bennett, who's been there since 1994, but you return some guys that can really do some things on the offensive line, the defensive line as well, and you're adding guys from the portal. I mean, Dominic Lovett coming over from Missouri, Ra Thomas coming over from Mississippi State. Yeah. What odds would you give Georgia of three-peating as we sit a couple days after the Natty?
Well, maybe before we even get to a three-peat, if you looked at their schedule, I'm trying to figure out how they're going to lose a game.
Yeah.
Like their schedule is laughable. And they're so much more talented and superior across the board, even with some of their losses. Now, I'll say this, guys. I've never been a Carson Beck fan. I'm not a Carson Beck fan. I think that they have to be a lot better than that. I'm going to be very, very curious to see what they come up with at the quarterback position. But the thing that makes them different than everybody else is they may lose a guy, but there's not a drop-off between that guy and the next guy that's taking his place. Now, there may be a difference in grad year. There may be a difference in experience, but there's not a difference in talent. And the vast majority of the teams that take the field in college football, if you rotate a guy off the field, the guy that's coming in and replacing him is not the same guy. It's a drop-off. It's noticeable. It can have an impact on your team. And I think this Georgia team proved that that's exactly where they are depth-wise when you consider the losses they had off of the 2021 team. So, I mean, I look at them, unless they absolutely go out there and lay an egg and screw it up, I am concerned about the quarterback position, but they could end up being a 2-touchdown favorite in every game they play.
Look, so here's the Georgia schedule for next year. UT Martin at home, Ball State at home, South Carolina at home, UAB at home, at Auburn, Kentucky at home, at Vandy, Florida in Jacksonville, Missouri at home, Ole Miss at home, at Tennessee, at Georgia Tech. I mean, you get through at Auburn and at Tennessee. I mean, it just speaking about American Horror Story. I mean, what's gonna happen in the first 2 weeks in Athens next year? I don't even know if they're gonna be able to put on TV if it's not NC-17.
Yeah, well, you're right. But I'll tell you what, they better use those 2 weeks to figure out who their quarterback's going to be. It's going to be a great opportunity for them to get some live bullets, get those kids in there. Somebody doesn't just outright win the job in training camp. So I think that's a positive. But just hearing you reel those things off, I mean, that's got to be a minimum of 6 to 7 5-loss teams in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's got to be. Just, off the top of my head, hearing you saying them, I mean, holy smokes. I mean, Listen, the rich just keep getting richer, and it's not slowing down.
Yeah, and they play a ton of teams with new first-year head coaches. You look at UAB, you look at Auburn, you look at Georgia Tech. I mean, that's a lot of first-year coaches there as well.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, great job in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah,
my dad and I were watching the game together, man. You always do a great job. I do want to ask you, Jake was talking about Michigan. There's just a lot of news out of Ann Arbor this week. You know, I mean, we haven't spoken since coming off the loss against TCU. And then we get the obligatory Jim Harbaugh's going to the NFL. And it sounds like he has at least spoken with the Panthers and with the Broncos. The NCAA investigations coming down on top of him for a cheeseburger, even though, there are other schools with $5 million NIL deals, I guess.
Yeah.
It was at the Brown Jug, though, so they got a quality burger at least.
That's true.
And now the president of Michigan's coming out saying, I've spoken with Jim Harbaugh and with the athletic director, and I don't know if that sort of usurps the 80s power there. What do you make of everything that's coming out of Ann Arbor right now?
Quite honestly, guys, I just don't think he enjoys the current state of college football right now. I don't think he enjoys the name, image, and likeness. I don't think he enjoys all of the things that are going on along with it. I don't believe he enjoys the transfer portal. It's turned into something that none of these coaches got into this profession to deal with. I'm not saying that it's not right. I'm not saying that we shouldn't evolve and there shouldn't be opportunities for players. I'm not saying that at all. But what we've done here is we've made it so complex because we've dumped it on the lap of everybody, with no policing, no enforcement, no guidelines, no blueprint on how to navigate the thing. And quite honestly, I don't think he enjoys it. I think at the end of the day, what he would love to do is run an organization and coach football and not have to worry about rules, not have to worry about dealing with 15, 16, 17-year-old kids. And if he could find the right opportunity, I think he would jump at it. I don't think it has any type of negative reflection upon his alma mater. I don't think it has any type of negative reflection upon the current team that he has and the football program that he's built. It has nothing to do with that. I think it's the current landscape of college football. And I'll say this, Nick Saban's not in the same realm because, he's 71 years old. But I'll tell you, man, when we sat in those coaches meetings with Nick Saban and we were preparing for the Sugar Bowl, he looked exhausted, guys. He looked so tired. And it's a combination of his team playing sloppy and they can't fathom how and why, but just signing day and the transfer portal and name, image, and likeness. And you talk about the administration there, David. I mean, some of those conversations have got to be about how do we come up with some bank here? Because if you want us as Michigan to continue to compete on a national level for a college football playoff berth, and we're not going to have the same level of resources when it comes to name, image, and likeness, it's going to be awfully hard to compete. Yeah. And that institution, from the top down, needs to understand we are living in a whole new world, and there's going to be haves and have-nots. And there's programs that have already made the decision. I think there's programs that are kind of falling in the middle, trying to decide where they fit and if they want to make that investment. And then there's programs that are just not going to be capable of playing in that realm. So Michigan's got to make those decisions.
Yeah, we just had our friend Steve Dace on, who says that Michigan is working on, how he phrased it, the collective to end all collectives, which if they have the mindset to do it, they can. I mean, it's a top 3 alumni base in the world, So I don't know. We'll see what the resistance to that is. Blaine, are you going to ask about Clemson and the OC, or do you want me to get to it?
You got it, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom, Clemson, new OC here. Dabo Swinney with a huge hire. Garrett Riley coming over from TCU. Your initial thoughts?
That it's the best, toughest decision that Dabo Swinney has probably had to make as the head coach at Clemson, because he's been so staunchly loyal. He has loved the ability to groom and develop young coaches and then provide them their opportunity. And quite honestly, it's worked for just about everybody on the staff, except for this one instance of Brandon Streeter. And I feel for Brandon a little bit, because he happened to become the offensive coordinator when they were no longer generational at quarterback.
Yep.
And we've seen how mere mortal Tony Elliott's become. We saw how mere mortal Jeff Scott became, okay? This is about quarterback play. And so I love the fit. I love that they're going to get into a lot of the guard, tackle, counter game with the screen stuff that comes off of it, much more up-tempo, pressure people, not get away from the run game, because I think ultimately that's the beauty of the Lincoln Riley / Garrett Riley, and I can name a bunch of other guys that have gone this route too with their version of the air raid. It's actually based upon the run game, and then everything else comes off of that. So fantastic hire. I know it was a hard decision for Dabo, but I said this about DJ Uiagalelei. I felt Dabo Swinney cost his football team a college football playoff berth with his loyalty to DJ.
I agree.
And at the end of the day, I love that. But you've also got 130 other guys you got to be loyal to. And it's not just about one guy. And I think, if anything, he may have learned off of the DJ situation is he can't allow this to continue to happen, and he's going to have to make some tough decisions. And he made a really good one here.
Love that. All right, Lugs, what's up, my guy? We're going straight to the Booster Club. All right, Bobby C-Note wants to know, #AskTom, that's you. When do you see Max Duggan going in the draft, and did the Natty game hurt his stock? Draft stock?
I think his draft stock is somewhat limited anyway. I think his draft stock is very, very similar to what Brock Purdy's draft stock was coming out of Iowa State. Now, as we all know, particularly in the National Football League level, right place, right time, right team, opportunity presents itself, pieces of the puzzle around you. That's what's happened with Brock Purdy. But when you look at like their careers, you look at their stature, you look at their style of play, I think Max Duggan's a little bit better of a mobile athlete as a true capable runner. But he's not going to get any bigger. He's not going to get any taller. He's going to get any faster. He doesn't have elite arm strength. Doesn't mean he can't play in the league, because if there's guys that are bouncing around the league like Chase Daniels or Colt McCoys, and Brock Purdy right now is another one of them. Tyler Huntley is
Davis
another
Mills.
one. Yeah, at least Davis Mills had like the physical stature, right? He's 6'4", 6'5".
Kirk Cousins.
But for this guy, he's going to have to be in the right place, right? And that's so much of professional football, particularly at quarterback.
All right,
I don't think the game hurt him. I don't think the game hurt him.
Yeah. Let's go to Emmanuel C. He wants to know, what's your thoughts on Notre Dame with Sam Hartman pickup, and you taking the over or under on 9 wins?
I'd probably push on that, because I think that's kind of right where they're going to be, is right around 9 wins. Now, we got to remember, he's still got to win the job, guys. I think that's the other thing in all of this stuff is, listen, his career has been remarkable. There, you can make an argument that from a pure productivity standpoint, he's been as productive a player in college football as there's been in the last 5 to 6 years. He brings a wealth of experience, great kid. And so I think he's going to upgrade their roster, but he's also going to have to win the game or win the job. I don't think Marcus Freeman or anybody on that staff is just going to hand it to him on a silver platter. I don't know if their roster yet is better than a 9-win roster. I think it's getting there. I think they'd have to have some things, potentially go their way, get a break here or there. You're going to have exceptional quarterback play. But again, you look at Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. You look at Georgia in the national championship game. I mean, you even look at Ohio State in the loss in the playoff. Notre Dame's not playing with their guys. Not yet. They don't have that roster.
Well, you got Ohio State and USC back to back, and then you got Wake Forest, and you go to Clemson. Best of luck.
They do play Wake.
That always happens. They play Wake.
They'll score on SC.
Oh, for sure. I mean, good. This Tumbler could have scored 35 points in that game they played against Tulane. But Tom, man, great stuff as usual. You catch Tom Luginbill, ESPN, does a fantastic job. We had Barrett Salih on yesterday. I know you guys are doing the show on Sirius there every Sunday. But Tom, as usual, we always appreciate you coming on, brother.
All right, guys.
Hey, and you're one of the best in your practicum. Yeah, golly, we used the same job.
There we go.
There it is. Great.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to start thinking. I was laying in bed last night. I'm like, practicum of dreams, practicum Yates.
Yes.
Practicum Fields. And I'm just going to I'm going to find some strawberry practicum.
How about that? That's exactly right. Look, Tom, we'll do this all day.
All weekend long.
Some guys just get it.
Yeah, some people just get it. Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's practicum. Who knows? Tom, we appreciate you, bro.
See you guys. Take care.
All right, Tom Luginbill. One of our favorites.
Lugs.
By the way, we do want to give an update on the Peyton Hillis story.
Yes, what is the update?
So he's doing better on the road to recovery. He was in critical condition, and if you haven't heard the story, his kids got caught in a riptide, and he went down and saved them in the riptide. Obviously, stayed underwater a really, really long time. A hero for his own children. Did what I think pretty much every parent would do if they had the opportunity. But he has the physical stature and ability to save him. It's an unbelievably heroic act by Peyton Hillis. So glad that he's recovering and that his children are okay and that his family's okay. Just a very, very scary situation. Happened kind of close to the timeline of when the DeMar Hamlin
that's right. That's right. No, thanks for that update.
Yeah.
Riptides are scary, man.
Scary as hell. That's why I don't go past my knees in the ocean. Y'all can laugh.
Been in a riptide before.
Hey, let's go to the sandbar. Let's go to the sandbar. No, I'm good. I'll go to the bar that's by the hotel.
I'm not surprised by
called the sandbar.
Yeah, it's exactly.
I'm not surprised by this. Peyton Hillis, physical monster. Probably a mental monster, too.
For sure.
What is that man afraid of? You want to fix a war in Ukraine? Send Peyton Hillis over.
On Friday the 13th.
Put some pads on him.
Send him on Friday the 13th.
Two people I would not mess with, Peyton Hillis and Jacob Hester. Those are two people I would
Jacob Hester does not care.
Yeah. No, Jacob Hester benching like 800 pounds, like 5'7".
All right, Booster Club. Christian Beard, $5 donation. Appreciate it, brother. The 49ers have scored over 35 points in every game except one since Brock Purdy took over. Has Brock Purdy earned the starting quarterback position going into next year, David Cohn?
Well, it depends on the next 4 games. Was it 4 games? Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I think his legacy and his opportunity in the NFL will sort of be cemented with what happens here. Like I told you guys, I don't think they haven't downgraded at all from Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, well, if he has a good 3, let's say they just make it to the NFC Championship game and lose, or make it to the Super Bowl and lose. I mean, that's what Jimmy Garoppolo has done his whole career.
Yeah.
So you get Brock Purdy for a lot cheaper.
Now, you always make the point, too, it matters how you win and lose. So, like they could lose in the first round, but he has an unbelievable game and it's not his fault, then, that's going to be a lot different.
And he's got the momentum right now. He's the new guy. Everybody loves him. He's the kid that just transferred in from the high school, 6 states over. He's always popular. He can be ugly as hell, but girls think he looks good for a week.
He's done enough that his name in the hat looks as good as anyone else's.
That's exactly right. I mean, I think Brock's earned the job. Speaking of earning the job, our friends over at DraftKings have earned the right, all right, to be the official sponsor of the Booster Club and Booster Club Bets. You need to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER. New customers, like we said, can get $5 on the NFL and get $250 in free bets instantly. That is only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code BOOSTER. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Guys, I'm going over to the board of life, loss, love, him, her.
What'd you find on
and go nouns?
What'd you find on DraftKings today?
All right. Well, yesterday, those losers in the Big Ten, Jet Howard decided to come. Jawan's kid just remembered for about the first 12 minutes. I don't think he missed a 3-pointer, even though they blew it in overtime. Shocker. But tonight, here we go. Still, just really right at even in units in the month. And overall, when you're where I'm at, if you can be even on units in the month, you'll take it. So tonight, I'm betting college basketball, okay? And some teams that you've probably never heard of. Give me Quinnipiac. That's right. The Yaks of Quinnipiac. I don't know if that's their mascot, but neither do you, so you'll believe it. Give me Quinnipiac -10. That's going off at -115. Then I thought I'd just put a little parlay together, which is not going to hit, but we just do it for, cackles and giggles. All right, so give me Illinois money line, Mount St. Mary money line, which sounds like a place from the Bible, Quinnipiac money line, Dayton money line, and the Fighting Nard Dogs Cornell money line at +478. Like a guy that's redoing an apartment building and wants to sell them, I'm just trying to get my units right.
That one's
David,
going to hit.
what do you got?
That one's going to hit for sure.
No chance.
Yeah, on the over last night, or the under in Michigan, Iowa, if you're not going to hit the under, go win the basketball game.
Yeah.
Can we do that at least? They didn't score in overtime for the first 3 minutes.
Idiots. Disgusting.
It was disgusting. So that's why I'm going to go double hockey tonight. Give me the New Jersey Devils.
Okay.
All right. Plus the Oilers, both to win. They're both on the road, but I believe that's my dog bet is +123. That ain't no guess. It's what it's going to be.
You're not taking the Flyers?
I'm going to leave that up to you.
You're taking a flyer on that?
Yeah.
We'll take a flyer on that. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Will you be here all week?
Depressingly, yes.
Okay, well, how about the Winnipeg Jets? Plus a goal and a half. The way they've been playing, I like that. That's -155, double ice bets.
The Jets really have been taking off lately.
Wow, really? All right, 8-unit jump yesterday. Who would have thought? Not
day
me.
for you.
All right, give me Man City money line betting soccer. You know why, Dave?
Because it's your favorite city.
Exactly. Man City. Ever been? Take my hand.
Man City.
Here, close your eyes and take my hand. Yeah, give me Man City money line. It's -120. Then I'm going to Oilers. -1.5. Connor McDavid and the boys. You're on the road.
Wait,
but I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
-1.5. Can we get one of those late goals? We're up 1. They pull the goalie. We just scooted on, and then we're like
empty
50
netter.
seconds left.
Empty netter. Show him.
Just
There
like
it
that.
is.
Right here. The form's just like this.
Just like that. I want it to be
See
just
that?
like
A
that.
lot of mighty
Probably
ducks growing up.
well, probably a lot better than what that was, but in that same way.
Nah, for sure. No, I think it was actually just like that. Baby Cone is going to take Purdue and that thing they got down low at -15. That's going off at -110. And then Butler, he's going to answer the door and hopefully cover the -1. That's going off at -105. I think they got Villanova tonight, David. Butler and Villanova.
Butler Villanova.
Absolute showdown.
At Butler.
Yes. Yes, at Butler with Villanova.
It's going to be an emotional time.
Yes.
We all know.
SG.
But remember, DraftKings, use our code BOOSTER. They sponsor the Booster Club, which means they're basically the coolest. And if you're not in the Booster Club, you're not cool. I'm sorry.
All right, let's go. Booster Club, $5 donation. Roju Mo, what's up there, brother? Start, bench, cut, tight end edition. All right.
Giselle.
All in their prime. All in their prime. Optimus prime. Tony G, Tony Gonzalez, Travis Kelce, or Gronk. We're going to go right to left here. We're going to go right to left.
Ooh, how are you going to cut one of those guys?
Because it's what it's going to be.
How are you going to cut one
Sounds
of
like Georgia's tight end room. I'm playing Travis Kelce.
We're going right to left. So, David.
So, I have to start this thing?
Yes.
I wanted to piggyback off what you guys were going to say.
You're a trendsetter on this one.
I'm going to have to start.
Exactly.
Didn't we see that in the volleyball thing the other day? You mean trendsetter?
That's what I said.
Oh.
Look, man, I have to start Gronk. I got to keep Kelce on the bench. But how are you going to cut a Hall of Famer?
Don't yell at me. Yell at
How you
him.
gonna cut
Those
a Hall
3
of
Hall of
Famer?
Famers.
Yell at
What?
me.
Wait, Gronk's not in the Hall of Fame yet.
He's going to be.
Well, I know what we're talking about, but I mean, how you gonna cut the guy who's literally already in the Hall of Fame? But you gotta do it right here.
It's tough. I would start Travis Kelce. I would bench Tony Gonzalez, and I would cut Gronk.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting Gronk. I'm going to bench Kelce, and I'm cutting Tony G.
You're starting Gronk over
So much
Kelce?
disrespect, but
No,
that's the rules of the game.
Travis Kelce doesn't block.
Travis Kelce blocks.
I mean, barely.
I think he
Gronk's out there running full speed into things and not caring.
Yeah, well, I mean, Travis Kelce's running way better routes than Gronk. Did you see Gronk try to
true.
tackle that guy
But-
one time?
But Gronk's a lot better blocker than Travis Kelce.
Yeah, well, they
lot
call his
better.
offensive lineman.
Well, he can also run routes and catch.
Decent.
Well, yeah, decent enough to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Again, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but when you have 3 Hall of Famers.
You're calling Gronk decent. I think he's a little bit better than decent.
I thought he was a decent route running and ball catching tight end.
Oh, okay.
He just
James Stalling, $2 donation. Hugh Freeze, #the Portal King.
Yeah, Auburn's got the number 2 ranked portal class right now, which you had to have it. Like we mentioned, getting Justin Rogers was huge, and they're doing it up front. Interested to see who they're going to get out of the portal at quarterback. But our buddy Stephen Ogden, who we didn't know was one of the greatest artists of our generation, drew freehand with a pencil. David, I'm gonna be honest, I'm getting real Slender Man vibes from you.
Yeah. So here's what I was looking at this last night. Oh, so close, Steve.
It is so close. This is really close.
I was looking at this and
Like, it looks like Fredo off,
no.
off
Here's
Good
what I came up with.
Godfather.
So here's what I came up with. I look like I'm about to play quarterback for the Texans. All right, Davis Mills style, long neck Kirk Cousins. Jake, I think yours is the closest there, but it does have some James.
Why does Jake like Kellen Moore?
It does have the it has the James and the Giant Peach vibes. It's serious James and the Giant Peach vibes. And then Blaine, you're Matthew McConaughey and
Dude,
Dallas Buyers.
I look like I'm not allowed 500 feet next to a playground.
You're Matthew McConaughey in the Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah.
Oh, so I have AIDS.
Actually, no. Actually, Blaine looks like he runs this small pizza shop in Queens.
Dude, that pizza.
I look like one of those hot dog vendors like 2 in the morning that you get on Nashville. David, you look like an absolute alien.
You do look, David.
You look like what would land on the. You look like my worst.
David
nightmare.
looks like the tallest guy in Hong Kong right now.
Will Smith ain't saving y'all.
Yeah,
that's
Jake
exactly
looks like
right.
the thing from Mindhunter.
He's good. Yeah, I was
James and the Giant
transforming in a
Peach,
cave.
man.
I kind of look like Wormtail.
That's a lot better than what I could do.
I need to
for
put
sure.
Jake's face there next to James and the Giant Peach. I just need to see how close.
That's a great movie, by the way.
Great.
That you talking
James and
about?
the Giant
Great book.
That one freaked me out.
I used to want some of
Wait,
that peach drink.
Blaine and I were talking about yesterday the Never-Ending Story. Have you seen the Never-Ending Story?
Yeah, it's when it never ended.
It did never end, but I love the Never-Ending Story. But James and the Giant Peach.
That big dog freaked me out.
It freaks
Yeah,
everybody
the
out.
horse.
I didn't even remember what the movie was. The only thing I remember was that horse died.
Horse. I
Y'all
don't want
remember,
to talk about.
y'all remember Indian in the Cupboard?
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Yes.
That's a great movie.
Great.
Yeah.
That and then Jungle
Gremlins.
to Jungle.
I remember
Gremlins
all those.
freaked
Now
me
you're
out
speaking
back
my
in the day.
language.
That's exactly right.
I
When he
know.
hits that fly with the blow dart in the bathroom.
I remember that one.
I heard that really happened.
Yeah.
All right. Freeway Jared. You on the Freeway Jared? $5 donation.
Thank you.
#AskJake. That's you. The state of college football through the portal and NIL, how happy are you to have transitioned out of coaching?
Pretty happy, honestly. Now, I miss the competitiveness of game day and all this, and being around the players and all that. But now it's so bureaucratic, and it's a lot faker than when I was in it. It feels like, and that's I do not miss the phony part of it. It just feels like it's times 1,000. So while I still love it, I love doing it. I love doing what I'm doing now, and I don't have to depend on 18 to 22-year-olds to do what I want them to do to be able to put food on our table. So that makes it a lot easier.
Poll?
Poll.
All right.
We'll wrap it up.
Do you believe in aliens?
So much.
What?
Just the most random.
No. We talked about the fourth kind in the opening.
Okay, I can see that.
There's no-
I'm going to say our audience, yes, 56%.
Yeah, they believe yes, but 55%.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You were looking down at something. You don't have an iPad over there, do you? Okay, I'm just making
Are we
sure.
staying
man.
with our guesses?
I'm saying my guess.
Yes, 57.
Ooh, I
that.
almost. Speaking of hit the fly with the blow dart, that was aim small, miss small.
Wish I had looked at it. Where can I look at it next time?
You can go to YouTube chat on your computer.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought maybe that's what you're looking at because you really.
You back in the day with Jake used to look at that TV. And
I did not.
I know, yeah.
Oh, it keeps accusing.
Can you put one behind your head so I can see it?
Is there not one there right now?
That'd be great. That'd be great. I'm just trying to find the golden tumbler. But make sure you guys subscribe. Check us out on all social media platforms. Go buy some merch, dailywire.com. You can check it out under collections. We got some new stuff coming as well. Remember, Sunday, we got our recap show of the Saturday NFL games and the preview show of the Sunday NFL games live every weekday morning, 7:30 to 9 Eastern, 6:30 to 8 Central. Really appreciate you guys. The call-ins are fantastic.
Yeah.
We're going to continue to do that. May start doing it more. Appreciate everybody that called in. Everybody out in the Midwest, Illinois, Oklahoma. We had somebody from Seattle. I had somebody from South Dakota last week.
The Midwest.
Yes, we really appreciate you guys. And just like our call-in shows not being mid, we're going. Gone.